It just doesn't seem like crime in New York is going to stop.
No. There's no consequence.
I don't understand how Albany can still allow people to go in there on serious offenses and be let out without any bail, without giving the judges discretion.
Right.
So you know what people in New York don't understand sometimes is that in New Jersey, we have bail reform.
Right.
But with bail reform, when you're arrested, if you're arrested on a warrant, if you're arrested on a summons, it's a minor offense, you automatically walk out the door. If you're arrested on a warrant, the prosecutor has to make a decision whether or not they're going to request detention. If they request detention, then probation gets involved and does an assessment of the person. And an assessment is given to the attorney, to the judge, to the prosecutor. And the assessment has two categories: risk of flight and danger to the community. And it goes from 1 to 6, 1 being the least, 6 being the most. So now a judge has this assessment by probation based on prior record, if any, based on the seriousness of the offense, based on, whether it's guns, whether it's homicide, violence. Some offenses like homicide and things like that, there's a presumption you're going to be detained. And other offenses, there's a presumption you won't be detained. But at least the judge has the opportunity to look at the individual. The lawyers have the right to argue their respective sides. Right. And then there's a decision to be made. And the bail reform is working in New Jersey.
And correct me if I'm wrong, when New Jersey changed the laws, there was a loophole in there for the bail reform, right? It wasn't automatic. Didn't Trenton have to change something?
They did, but it wasn't something very significant. But I do remember, Al, that they did change something. See, what happened in New Jersey is we followed the federal system.
Right.
The federal system has never had bail. It's always been detention or release.
Right.
Okay, you could sign a personal recognizance bond as some collateral, but you didn't have bail bondsmen or none of that. And Christie, Governor Christie, was the one that passed it in New Jersey because he was a former U.S. attorney. He was the former U.S. attorney in New Jersey.
Right.
So the system did work. But we have judges that have the discretion, and there are people that are detained all the time.
Right.
The people that shouldn't be detained, the $2,500 bails, the $5,000 bails, the $10,000 bails, the things that discriminate against people if you don't have money, those we alleviated because those things you're going to be released.
Right.
So, but it works. But in New York, my God, it just isn't working.
Yeah, and the argument they keep making in Albany is that no, the judges do have discretion, but yet the judges are saying no, we don't.
They don't.
So who's right and who's wrong?
No,
you know what I mean? If the judges are saying they don't, then clearly they don't.
And in the instances where you have serious offenses, you have a district attorney in Manhattan that keeps downgrading things.
Right.
So even if the judges had a right on some offenses to consider things, he downgrades it before he gets there.
Yeah, and look at the mistake they just made in this trial they had with this ex-cop that he was fired from the police force. A lot of his arrests, it looked like they were suspect or whatever. The assistant district attorney screwed up. They had to let him go.
Yeah,
that's it. The trial's over. Yeah. I mean, that's a serious problem.
It sure is.
It's not good. And whatever you want to say about the cop and whatever. Again, I think Alvin Bragg has been a horrible district attorney. You have the district attorney in Staten Island in Mike McMahon who's like, listen, there's a problem here. He's the only Democrat who's come out and said, look, we've got a problem. Yeah. We need to have some type of discretion for the judges to allow things to happen because a guy could break into somebody's house on Monday, be released from jail, and be back out on the street again on Tuesday to do the same thing, and we can't hold him because we know that he's a career criminal. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the crime is just recidivism. That's all it is. It's people that commit crimes, they keep getting back out. And why would they not?
Right. And you're seeing stores closing all over the place. I mean, the shoplifting has gotten completely out of control. I have friends that are police officers. Some of them are detectives. Some are still street cops. Been on the job for 20 years. A lot of them are ready to walk. They're like, what? My one friend who's still out on the beat, he says, what is my point of arresting somebody if in an hour they're going to be back on the street again to do whatever they want? I can't hold them for anything. Even if they commit a violent crime, most of the time they're out. Yeah. They're out and walking around. He said, "What's the? I'm going to take the risk of my own life in my hands because I can't keep this guy behind bars. It's not working."